Hi, friends. Before we start, have you ever wondered what really happens after you hit submit on your college applications? For the first time ever, former admissions officers from top universities will go head to head, showing you exactly how decisions are made. Join us live on September 23rd to see which two students earned the yes and why. Seats are limited, so grab your spot now. The link is in the description. Now let's get back to the episode. Today, I'm very thrilled to welcome former UChicago Admissions Officer to answer your burning questions about the admissions process and everything in between. So thank you all to our subscribers for sending in those questions. Wes, I'm so glad to have you here today. Let's start with the first one with the biggest worries for students, the essay. So would you recommend writing an essay about a specific social issue, and what's your view on that?
Only if that's relevant to the persona that you're trying to sell. That's what you want to make sure that it's relevant to. No use writing about a social issue that's not relevant to your application and the theme of your application, because then you're just taking a risk for no real reward.
Many students also wonder how much personal interactions matter in the process. Will meeting an admissions officer in real life help your chances?
Admissions counselors are human, so it might. You're not supposed to let your personal biases or feelings influence your admissions decision. It's supposed to be based purely on the materials that have come through the application itself. If you have the chance to meet your admissions counselor, I think that there's no reason not to. Don't fly across the country just to meet your admissions counselor because you think that's going to give you a leg up in admissions. No. But if you're visiting campus and the counselor happens to be there, feel free to stop by and say hi.
This next one is also an essay question. When it comes to the style of essay, should students lean more objective or creative?
A more objective or a creative essay, again, just depends on what the purpose of your application is. Generally speaking, I'm going to say objective. These essays need to be specifically communicating something about who you are, definitely for the personal statement. For the supplemental essays, I think usually it is where you'll find that you can get a little bit more creative in your responses, but only if it makes sense for who you are. If you're not a poet, don't try to respond with a poem.
I have a chronic illness diagnosis that I'm still battling with today, and I know that can be overused, but should I still write about it?
If the chronic illness is going to be present in your application, for example, if it has contributed to softer grades on a transcript, or if you think that teachers might bring it up because it's impacted your work in class or something like that, then this is your chance to take ownership over it. If you think that it serves the narrative that you're presenting with your application, that persona, then I would say yes, this could be a good asset topic. You also have the additional information section of the Common App that you can use to describe. So if you just need to give a factual breakdown of how you're addressing the difficulties that your chronic illness is presenting, then that might be best for the additional information section. If it's a thematic part of your application, your persona, how you're presenting it, then you might want to use it for the personal statement.
Having to do farm work and work for the family business will help explain why my GPA is on the lower side.
I don't know the specifics about you. Certainly, farm work, family business, absolutely, those are things that are valuable to universities. Family responsibilities are a choice from the drop-down menu in the activities list. So if you have to, for example, stay home after school and help with harvest, and so you can't do any extracurriculars, admissions counselors want to know about that. So don't sell yourself short.
Now, this one is mostly directed to you and your experience in the admissions office. As an admissions counselor, what factors make you stop and think, whoa, this candidate could be a fit while reading their essays?
That's going to be school specific. So for UChicago, yeah, students who really love to make weird connections and think about things in a very cool interdisciplinary way, I love to see those. An MIT admissions counselor is going to love to see students who are like really tinkering and trying to make something. It's just going to depend on the school that you're applying to and their particular personality. It's an endemic part of who you are in your life. It's not something that you can really easily separate from who you are. I just think that it has some good values that it essentially demonstrates to the university, but it's certainly not something that you should feel like you have to force into your essay if it doesn't make sense.
Now, this is the very last questions that we have for today. Will it be concerning to admissions officers if I have excellent stats like the SAT scores, extracurriculars, essays, recommendations, everything except my GPA?
I wouldn't use concerned necessarily. It's the reason that they do holistic admissions. They want to make sure that students who aren't good test takers, but are very strong thinkers in other ways, like are still considered. They want to make sure that students who were doing the really intense extracurriculars and so couldn't necessarily take the SAT class that other people, like maybe you're doing a bunch of farm labor, you're helping out with the harvest and you couldn't take the SAT prep course, right? Yeah, that's why they do holistic admissions. They will take note of your GPA. You want to make sure that you're countering that with other things. If there's an acute reason that your GPA is low, address that in some way. That you have undiagnosed ADHD in your freshman year, but like you got on medication your sophomore year and your grades just shot through the roof. State that in the additional information section so admissions counselors know that there's some sort of extenuating circumstance impacting your GPA.
Wes, thank you so much for taking the time to answer all of our listener questions. And to our audience, don't forget on September 23rd, we're hosting the Admissions Showdown, a live event where former admissions officers go head to head, showing you exactly how decisions are made. Link is in the description. Also, application season is just around the corner, so this is just a friendly reminder to you to start early. If you'd like tailored guidance, connect with our team for a free one-on-one strategy call. You'll find a link in our description as well. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode.